Do not apply for any scholarship if you don't do the basic things I'm about to share with you right now. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 best guidelines that will help you as an excellent student to be awarded various scholarships in various institutions of the world. Hello friends, you're welcome. This is Basil World Academy. This channel is all about giving you best tips and guidelines that will harness the potentials in you as a student and channel you to success in all areas of your academic endeavors. I have discovered that over the years, many students who apply to various scholarships in different institutions of the world, they get rejected. And I've been wondering what could have caused this. At a point, I went into a moment of sober reflection. I have to think about this. I have to ask myself various questions that relate to scholarship applications. Personally, I discovered that there are a lot of mistakes that various students who apply for scholarship they make on a yearly basis, and this on the long run affects their scholarship application. This becomes one of the basic reasons why I want to share these personal 5 best guidelines that will help you as a scholarship applicant, as a student who is already applying for scholarships or who wants to apply for scholarships subsequently. This video is for you. And without wasting our time, I want to share these basic 5 tips with you. The first thing I want to mention here is that scholarship application demands high mental ability. What do I mean by this? It requires you to be prepared mentally. It requires you to be prepared psychologically. It requires you to have that mental energy that is required for you to apply to any scholarship at all. Remember that most of these scholarships have various tasks that you are expected to do. You are expected to write various essays. You are expected to provide some documents. You are expected to do a whole lot of things. That is why, as a student who wants to win any scholarship, you need adequate time to prepare. When you have adequate time, it helps you to prepare everything that is needed for any scholarship. Remember that time helps you to look out for the deadlines for any scholarship. Within this period, you will also be able to look at the various application portals or websites for any scholarship, and you'll be able to look at the deadlines, the requirements, the basic things that you need to do in order to apply for any scholarship or for any admission. This is an essential step. Personally, I would recommend, if you want to apply for any scholarship, you need nothing less than 6 months or even 1 year to get yourself prepared, because a lot is required if you want to win any scholarship. The second thing I also want to point out here is that you need a moment of reflection. What do I mean by a moment of reflection? You need a time where you will just be on your own. You have to concentrate on yourself. Think about what you are expected to do. Think about what is expected of you in the application. Think about your career objectives. Think about the courses you want to apply or the course you want to apply. Think about everything that has to do with your career and with your objective. Helps you to build mental capacity, helps you to build mental energy during this moment of reflection. Now, it also helps you to think about the courses, like I said earlier. What are the courses you want to apply to? Are you going for a master's studies? Are you going for a PhD studies? Okay, if I'm going for a master's studies, what are my research interests? If I'm going for a PhD studies, what are my research interests? What are the things I'm supposed to know? What are the things I don't know? What are the things I need to improve on? It's very, very necessary, because this point is tied down to what I said initially about having adequate time to think and adequate time to prepare and know what you are expected to do. I cannot overemphasize the importance of time and a moment of reflection, because they will help you to be well focused in your scholarship process. Another thing I also want you to put into consideration is for you to create a time where you will go through the application processes. Now, the first thing that counts is I have selected the courses I want to apply for. I've selected the universities. You need time to go through the application processes, because when you do that, you will be able to know if you're eligible to apply. You will be able to know the documents that are required of you. You will be able to also look at important deadlines that you need to meet, but to also help you to look at the various documents that you also need for the application. It will also help you to know the things that are required of you. Take your time, go through the application processes of each of these universities or the schools you've selected, because various schools, they have their own various method of selection, and you need to be very, very much aware of that. And when you do this, you are getting yourself involved and getting yourself prepared mentally for the tasks ahead. Please do not neglect this point. I've mentioned initially that you need time to prepare. Then after time, the next thing you need to do is to make sure that you have a moment of reflection. During this moment of reflection, you will have to go through the application processes in the school's website or scholarship website. Look at them properly. Look at the things that are required of you. Make sure that you have a notebook where you write down the list of the schools where you need to apply and each of the requirements that you need to get ready for each of the schools and for each of the scholarships. This was what I did, and I believe that when you apply that also in your own case, it's going to help you very, very immensely. Another point I also want to mention here is that you need to apply to as many scholarships, to as many universities that you are eligible to apply. Why did I say this? Because this will help you to have a better advantage of getting any of the scholarships, and also it will help you to know how to deal with scholarship rejections. Scholarships are highly competitive, so in order to increase your chances, in order to make the probability and the likelihood of you getting into this scholarship to be high, you need to apply to various scholarships and to various universities that you are eligible to apply. But please, I want to make it very, very emphatic here that scholarships are very competitive. You need to sit down, you need to brace up and to make sure that you do everything within your means, that you have everything that is needed and you meet all the deadlines, because this is an important approach to scholarship applications. The next thing I also want you to know is that you have to carefully look at the requirements and the steps for any admission or for any scholarship. Now, there are different requirements for different scholarships, and there are also different requirements for different universities. Make sure that you look at the requirements very carefully. Make sure that as soon as you have looked at the requirements that is needed for any scholarship or any application, please do well to make sure that all of them are intact and they are ready. Please do not start any scholarship application, do not start any university application if you don't have all your required documents, because when you do that, you're going to be disjointed in your application process. Your mental ability and your mental concentration will be low, and you will not have the maximum output and efficiency that you need to apply for the scholarships and other university admissions. Now, before I end this video, I want to mention some important requirements or documents that is highly needed in any admission or scholarship application. You're applying for bachelor's, maybe probably if you're from Nigeria, you'll be needing your WAEC or your NICO or any other high school certificate that you have, depending on your country and the qualification you have for the bachelor's application. Then if you're going for master's, definitely you'll be needing your bachelor's certificate. If you're going for PhD, in some cases, you'll be required to provide your bachelor's certificate and your master's certificate. But this varies from country to country and from university to university. Please do well to read the application process very carefully, and you'll be able to get enough information as regards to this. The next requirement that is very essential is transcripts. Make sure that you read the information on the application portal on how you will upload your transcripts, because some schools require you to upload a personal transcript or a student copy of your transcript. Some other schools will also require your school to send your transcript directly to them. So please do well to look at the application process and be able to know the method of sending in your transcript, whether you can send it during your application or your institution where you did your previous studies will be the one to send your application. Now, the next thing that we also need here is a means of identification. The basic one here is your international passport. Is very important and very essential for you. There are other exemptions in some scholarships and in some in various institutions. Maybe you have your national identity of your country. You can also be accepted in some other schools, but the basic one that mostly every school, every scholarship demands of you is your international passport. The next thing you also have to provide is English proficiency. Now, there are a lot of twists to this. Some schools will exempt you. Some other schools will require you to write either TOEFL or IELTS. So make sure you look at the English proficiency aspect whenever you're applying for any admission or any scholarship. Some schools also will demand a letter of proficiency from your department or from your school. So please also look out for this and know what you are expected to do as regards the English proficiency. Now, the other things that you also have to look at is recommendation letters. This is another very important aspect. There are a lot of twists to this also. Some schools require a scanned copy of the references from your previous lecturers or university professors. So you also have to look at the application process and know the method of sending in your recommendation letters. Some scholarship bodies or some universities will demand recommendation from your referees directly. You will be able to provide their work email or institutional email, and the referees will be the ones to send in a recommendation directly, which means the recommendation is not coming through you as an applicant. Some other universities, some other schools require you to collect a hard copy of your recommendations and upload them during the application process. So there are a lot of twists to this. Please read your application process well, the requirements well, and you will be able to scale through. Other things that you can also look out for, maybe there are some schools that require application fees. There's also some schools that give application fee waivers. Please also make sure to check for this and be sure that you have adequate funds or adequate schools that can give application fee waivers. This will also help you to prepare yourself financially and mentally when it comes to application. Another thing you have to take into consideration is also a requirement in some schools is oral interviews or any kind of interview, maybe written interview, online interview through Skype, through Zoom. A lot of schools will want you to do an oral interview. Some schools do this in order to test your English level. Other schools also look out for this to check your level of motivation if you're fit to go in for the course you have also applied for. And the last thing, which is very important, I would like to mention here is application and your essays. There is no scholarship application that just comes like that. There's no scholarship application that comes on a bed of roses, because they are not seeing you in person. They need something that will convince them that you're qualified and you are competent to be awarded the scholarship. And this can only come through your essays. Make sure you go through the application process. Read what is required of you as regards writing of essays, motivational letters, personal statements. Is an important aspect of a scholarship application. Please, I also want you to know that even when all your documents are complete and your essays are not convincing enough and may not be able to win any of the scholarship. So in as much as you're paying attention to get all the required documents, the most important thing, also make sure that as you're doing that, your essays and your write-ups, your proposals, your personal statement, they are also commendable. They are also of high standard. These are the points that will help you to apply successfully to any scholarship or to any admission and be able to come out in flying colors. Having mentioned these points, this is where I will be dropping the video for today. Please do not forget that if you have extra comments or anything you feel I must have left behind, which is very essential in admission and scholarship applications, please do well to drop them in the description box below. I'll also drop links to my social handles where we can have one-on-one interaction and personal interaction. We have an opportunity of guiding you in any scholarship or any admission processes. Please do well to like, share, and subscribe so that you'll continue to get more updates and more information as regards that excellency as a student. See you in the next video.